What's up, everyone? So, in this episode, we are going to be talking about televangelist Rod Parsley. He leads a church in Columbus, Ohio. It's called World Harvest Church, and he's been criticized heavily recently because of a message that was shared that he did on social media, and he was urging people not to hate America's founding fathers who had slaves, as a matter of fact. And right now there's a lot going on about Confederate statues and bases that have been named after Confederate soldiers, and there's just a lot of things that are going on regarding that. But the message that he put out there, a lot of people took offense to it. And so I'm going to play a little clip of it, and then I'll just share my thoughts on this situation.
I want to speak to every brother and sister that I have. My black brothers and sisters, my Asian brothers and sisters, my Arab brothers and sisters, my Hispanic brothers and sisters, and even my white brothers and sisters. Hear the heart of God. Please be done with bitterness. Please put away hate. We live in a great land. Let me shout it before you respond to me. It was founded by people just like you, flawed people. But those framers framed the liberties that every one of us enjoy today. If you hate America, please give me your alternative. Don't hate our founders. That's a lie. Don't discard their legacy. Well, they had slaves. Every one of them freed their slaves either during their life or upon their death. And we fought a civil war. Our nation has been washed in the blood of the bloodiest war ever fought to secure that we can stand here today and speak out against a curse. Maybe I could call it the birth defect of America. Over there's the Eckfeld family. They've got about 19 children living in their home, most of which were born with a birth defect. Shall we throw them away and say they have no value? Shall we throw America away? Should we throw the idea of America away because it's still not perfect? Or should we stand up and fight to make it a more perfect union? Let's stand up together, hand in hand, arm in arm, and let's build a nation better than the one our framers could even envision. We need you. We love you. We need you to be rooted in the rich, rich soil from which our republic sprang. Remember these words from Winston Churchill, will you? If we open a conflict between the past and the present, we'll lose the future. We have to dream bigger. We have to believe stronger. And as for me and my house, this is the time to stand tall in all the beauty of who we are and hold tightly to the wisdom of our fathers. to dream their dreams of a righteous America and become that generation where black men say to white men, and white men say to Asian men, Asian men say to Hispanic men. Let's join hands together. And under God, let's be silent no more. Let's restore America.
All right, so you heard his statement. Here's the thing, because I tend to not talk about these topics too much in a podcast or in a video, but the way it came across, it honestly sounded as if he was saying, if you don't like it here, then pack your bags and go elsewhere. Because he says, if you hate America, what's your alternative? I don't believe that a lot of people are saying they hate America. It is the history of some things that have a lot of things that happen in America, how the country was founded, how it was built up, how a lot of free labor that was used by my ancestors and maybe your ancestors and people ancestors who built it with free labor. And let's just be honest, these slaves were whipped and beaten and raped, and there was a lot of horrible, devastating things that happened. So I feel like if he is the pastor of a mega church and he has a lot of followers who are, a lot of them are African American, they're black, and then there are other races that are his parishioners and his followers as well, it would be good if he would actually talk about a lot of the horrible things that happened and just say, I wasn't back there when those things happened, and those things were horrible. I want us to be able to move forward to a better future for, however he preaches, I don't really know, but for him to just come out and basically, give a statement where it's like, don't be bitter. And if you have what's your alternative if you don't like it here, that's very dismissive of people who are just upset about some things that have happened, but they're not saying that we hate America. That's not what they're saying. So the message was just, in my opinion, completely tone deaf, and it was almost as if he was saying, if you don't like it here, pack your bags and go. And that is just, it's a very dismissive statement to just say, don't be bitter. What's your alternative if you don't like it here, if you hate America? You're speaking things that really aren't true. Just because somebody doesn't like some things that happen doesn't mean that they hate the country. And there's an old statement that those who forget the past or who don't acknowledge the past are doomed to repeat it. So to just glaze over this history and just speak about, you should be thankful for our forefathers and they free the slaves and whatever. I mean, he's just not being factually accurate when he's speaking about those things. So I really just don't feel like he really knows what he's talking about. And I'm not a history scholar either, but I'm here to say that it wasn't people just running around on the plantation and dancing and having a good time, eating and drinking and being merry but just, not getting paid for the hard work and labor that they did, and they were sleeping comfortably at night. No, a lot of horrible things happen, a lot of horrible things that some of us would never be able to go through. And I am quite thankful every single day of my life that me, as a Black woman, having ancestors that probably were slaves, that God allowed me not to be in that time and space where I had to endure those things. I don't know what I would do if I was in a situation like that. So I would never discount those experiences. And so for anyone to discount those experiences is just not cool. And for him to be a pastor of a big church is very disappointing. And I don't know how those who go to his church and who really know about him feel about that. But I definitely would be feeling some type of way. And if I were going to church, I don't think I would return. But that's just me. I don't believe he had the audacity, but he did, to come out and make a statement prior to that one saying that racism is a sin, but yet turn around the next or following several days and say you should be thankful for our forefathers. I mean, you're speaking different languages out of the same side of your mouth. Like, it's just not cool. It doesn't make any sense. And so I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I would love to know what you guys think about it. I was to be honest with you, my mouth dropped a little bit, but nothing really surprises me anymore these days when something comes out that something, somebody said or did this or did that. For a moment, I'm like, oh, but then I'm like, yeah, oh well, because it's just the way it is now. Unfortunately, a lot of people are revealing their hearts through their mouths. That's how that happens. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks it. So a lot of people are sharing their innermost thoughts through their mouths instead of just staying silent. So those are just my thoughts about it. But you guys let me know how you feel about this in the comment section. Thank you so much for supporting this podcast, and thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. This is the Minister of Beauty, here to share the Bible. That's business, inspiration, beauty, life, and enjoyment. So until the next episode, have an amazingly blessed and beautiful day.